Marcia had insisted on bringing with her, had ordered in mats and bolsters for everyone, and booked 2 teachers to take classes on alternate days. To Marcia, who could conduct an important phone call while assuming a full headstand, there was something intensely amusing about watching the facial contortions of the less supple members of the team. People like Roxanne Cartwright, the fashion director and longest-serving staff member, who had just this morning hurtled in, slurping coffee from her takeaway cup. Typical, Marcia thought. Everyone else was ready to start the session with their legs neatly crossed and eyes closed. "Sorry I'm late," Roxanne blustered, placing her coffee on the edge of Zoe, the beauty director's desk, where it sat for a moment, half resting on an eyeshadow compact before tipping over. "Oh, God!" Roxanne gasped, running to the kitchen and returning with a wad of paper towels. "So sorry, Zoe," she added. "Rox, it's fine," Zoe murmured from her mat on the floor. "Calm down, darling." However, it wasn't fine, as far as Marcia was concerned. She sighed irritably as, with the coffee lake now blotted, Roxanne rushed off to change in the loos into her yoga gear. Apparently, she couldn't bring herself to travel to work in it as everyone else did. Finally ready for class and back in the main office, Roxanne assumed the required seated position on a mat next to Marcia. Funnily enough, that space was always the last one taken. Whilst pretending to sit completely zen, Marcia snuck a glance at Roxanne, who was still panting a little. Marcia had already spent an awful lot of time observing her over the past fortnight. She was always running, Marcia had noted, off to appointments and shoots, cheeks flushed, hair askew, phone clasped to her ear. And she was in some state this morning. Her cheeks were bright red, and her casual topknot was tumbling loose, with strands of fair, wavy hair flapping in her face. However, although it pained Marcia to admit it, Roxanne was still striking for her age. When you were a mere 33, late 40s sounded geriatric. Her natural beauty quite captivating. Her light blue eyes were stunning, and she was blessed with the kind of delicate bone structure that gave a person an air of elegance and dignity. On top of this, Roxanne had a casual, bohemian way of dressing that Marcia could only hope to emulate. Just how did one throw a perfect outfit together, seemingly without effort? Whenever Marcia tried to do that, the quirky accessory, even something as innocuous as an Indian scarf, had the appearance of being flung at her by a passer-by as a cruel joke. As a result, Marcia tended to stick to the safe territory of fitted shirt in cream or white, plus black trousers, a uniform, really, which eliminated the hassle of thinking about what to wear every morning. Rufus had assured her that the editor of a fashion magazine was there to drive sales, not appear as if she had just stepped off the catwalk. There was something else about Roxanne that Marcia had noticed, apart from the natural beauty and the effortless style, damn her. She had a childlike enthusiasm that drew people to her and commanded fierce loyalty. Marcia had already had informal chats with Zoe and the other department heads, all of whom had been pleasingly compliant about the direction the magazine should take. Where Roxanne was concerned, she suspected things might not be quite so simple. Marcia's intention was to put a stop to the stunning fashion photography for which the magazine was known, and instead feature hundreds of cheap-as-chips outfits promising figure-shaping miracles. Miracle knickers, bum-slimming trousers, boob-hoisting bras. That was what Marcia wanted to see. Of course, Roxanne would hate that. It hardly fitted in with her romantic aesthetic of achingly beautiful girls on horseback, swathed in chiffon. But who cared? Marcia's job was to sell more copies, reversing the circulation decline and maximise profitability. This would secure her not only a whopping bonus, but may also be the trigger for Rufus to leave that dreadful wife of his and be truly hers. She loved the man deeply, and her favourite pastime was picturing the two of them, London's media power couple, scooping every accolade going at all the industry awards. Whilst holding a perfect downward dog pose, Marcia glanced around at her team.